Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a review on the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. This right here, this is what it looks like on the inside. Sorry, I can't totally fold that back to like not blind you, but that's what it looks like on the inside. I actually did a tutorial on an eye look using this palette in my last video, so if you didn't see that, I will make sure and link that one up above for you and down below. So if you want to see a more colorful eye look with this palette, you can look at that. I'm actually also wearing it on my eyes today, so you can see you can do a fairly natural look, even more natural than this if you wanted, or you can definitely go pretty smoky, and you can even, you know, throw in some of these colorful shades right here. I used primarily the shade as, like, you know, the star of the show in the tutorial, and I even used a little bit of the purple. So if you want to see that, then definitely check out that video. If you want to see more tutorials using this palette, I certainly can do that, but I wanted to make sure and review this for you if you've been wondering about it. I know this is not super new, it's been out for a while, but it more recently came to Ulta, so you can now buy it there, which is really nice because if you're platinum, like I am, you can use a 20% off coupon. They, you know, from time to time send coupons that are for prestige brands, because if you just try to use a regular coupon, very often prestige brands, including this one, are excluded. But from time to time, if you're platinum, they send out those coupons. I think probably they send them out as well if you're not platinum, but not quite as regularly as if you are platinum. But even if you're not, you can certainly, you know, spend some of your points that you've earned at Ulta to use on something like this. So that's really nice. It retails for $42, which I'll get into, of course, everything about this, but I think that's a very fair price for this palette. You get a lot of product in this, way more than, say, an Anastasia palette. So total, you get 0.63 ounces of product in here. And it actually says on the back, it says, you know, it's 10 shadows. You can see that in there. And they are 1.8 grams each. That's 0.063 ounces. So each of them adds up to the 0.63. So just to give you an idea, I just pulled it up on my computer. The Soft Glam palette from Anastasia has 0.28 ounces total. So you get more shades in it, but you get way less product. So you actually do get a lot of product in this. So I think that's really great. The packaging is beautiful, although I will say you can see on here that it's already gotten pretty dirty. When I got this, I immediately took it on a trip with me to try it out. And so part of that is because of travel. It got pretty dirty that way, but I think it gets dirty pretty easily. Now, the way the packaging is, I'm sure you could just take a makeup wipe and wipe it off and it would be nice and clean. So if something like that bothers you, you can clean it, but it does get dirty fairly easily because of the material, I think. It's like a soft touch, a little bit cardboard, but you know, it's also just white, so it pretty easily gets dirty. But I do think the packaging is beautiful. I think it's really classy looking, but different still. You can see it has that design on the inside and very large pans with the DC in there for Dominique Cosmetics. And this is the array of shades here. They're all coffee themed, which is really fun because I am definitely a big coffee fan. But even if you're not, they don't smell like coffee or anything like that. It's just the theme of it. So, you know, for example, so I'll just tell you all of the shades in here. So you have hazelnut, caramel, vanilla cream, mocha, pumpkin spice, espresso, macchiato, creme brulee, cold brew, and double shot, which I think are the cutest names for these. I really think that that is very creative and nice. I love the variety that you get in this palette. You have all of those warm tone shades and a lot of great mattes. It's only 3 shimmers, these 3 down here. So you have a lot of mattes to choose from, but you still have, you know, this dark teal color and this purple color, you know, which are very pigmented, very vibrant colors. You'll see these here. This is one swipe of each. You can see how vibrant those are, and they really last very, very well on the eyes. You'll see as I'm wiping my fingers off that they stain my fingers. So that's always a really good sign. I'm not gonna swatch everything for you because honestly, there are so many swatches online. So if you wanna see them, just Google swatches and you can see them on multiple skin tones. I just really do enjoy the variety in this palette, and I find that these shadows are really pigmented, but they blend out very, very easily. You don't have to work too hard with them. Even these shimmers, I find that with a dry brush, no base, it really does pop very nicely. Obviously pops more if you wet it, but I do find that you don't even really need a brush, which is a nice plus for those of you who, you know, don't like to use your finger or don't want to bother with wetting a shadow. I found that the lasting power on these was really nice. I took this, like I said, on a trip, and some of those days I put on my eyeshadow first thing in the morning, and then it lasted all day long, and it still looked just as vibrant too. I really found, I mean, of course I use a primer, but I always do with my eyeshadow because I have to, because I do get creasing if I don't. So I don't know, you know, how these would perform if you just use concealer, because for me that wouldn't really work that well anyway. So you might want to try that and see how it goes. But at least with a good primer, I found that these lasted all day long. And just for reference, I use the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I also love the different tones of these shimmers. You know, you have a good variety in here. And of course you can certainly pair something else with this, but this really does have all that you need. You know, on that trip, I found that I really had everything that I needed in here, and it was a good one to bring with me because of that. And so I not only found that I had everything I needed and that I didn't feel like I needed much extra, but I also enjoyed using it. I felt like I was able to create lots of different looks, and throughout the trip I was able to use every single shade. And just to give you an idea of what I'm wearing on my eyes today, I set everything with vanilla cream, and then I went in with caramel, you know, all in my crease and above my crease. And then I went in with mocha. I mixed in a little bit of hazelnut at first just to soften it a bit, but mostly I used mocha. And I put mocha and caramel on my lower lash line, smoked out, and I used creme brulee all over that lid there. And I did not wet it. I used a glitter base, but I did not wet the shadow. So just to keep that in mind. And as you can see, it's very shimmery. You can certainly wet it and pop it up just a little bit more. It definitely would be a little more shiny if you did that, but I wasn't necessarily looking for that anyway, so I didn't feel the need to do that. Getting a little bit dirty. The one a little bit of criticism that I would have about the color selection in here is that, you know, you do have these cooler tones in here, which I think is great, but you are a little bit limited with the mattes that you have up here that you would probably go for in your crease or whatnot. You have to go warm toned with these. So most of the time you're gonna get a warm toned look unless you go in with one of these shades right here, and then you can kind of make it a little cooler with those shades. And you know, the shimmers will kind of go in whichever direction you take them. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, and most people, you know, prefer to use these warm tones in their crease anyway, and I certainly don't mind that, but it just doesn't offer you the option to not do that if you wanted to. Not to say that you couldn't put this one or this one smoked out, you know, in your crease. You could certainly do that, but I'm just saying if you wanted to use some type of transition shade first, you know, it can be a little bit limiting when it comes to that. So just to mention, if you didn't already know, Dominique Cosmetics is owned by Kristen Dominique, who is a YouTuber. So I think that is awesome as well. And she more recently came out with the Lemonade collection, which had the Lemonade palette and also 3 different lip glosses. And it just wasn't something that I felt the need to buy. And I was more interested in this one. And it took me a while to, you know, decide to get it. But truthfully, what happened was I saw this in store in my Ulta, so they may not have it in all stores, and in fact I believe that it says online that it's online only, but I guess in some stores they just have it. It was right by the checkout. It was just its own little display, and I swatched it and that made me buy it. You know, I feel like I can create a look from start to finish with this palette, but I also feel like I can create lots of different types of looks from start to finish with this palette. A lot of times, you know, you can create a full look, but it's sort of one-dimensional, and you end up finding that all of your looks look pretty similar to each other. Whereas with this one, I've created a lot of different types of looks, and so I've really enjoyed that. This is one that I would definitely take traveling again because I do feel like it's all that I need, and it has lots of different options. And you know, very often what I do when I travel is I take, you know, one eyeshadow palette, and then, you know, I'll throw in maybe some liquid eyeshadows or glitters or pigments or something like that to just sort of be able to switch things up a little bit. But all I need is one palette, and there are certain palettes that I wouldn't take with me traveling because I don't feel like it has everything that I need. And then of course there are ones that I feel like are perfect for that, and I do feel like this is good. You know, it has a good size mirror in here. You can see Hello. It has a nice size mirror for you, so you can do your makeup with this mirror if you wanted to. I typically don't end up doing that because I just find that it's hard to do that. I don't know, that's just me, but a lot of people like to do that. I need like a big old mirror. That's just me, but you certainly could use this one. And the packaging is really sturdy, so I don't worry about this breaking in transit or, you know, popping open, because the magnet is pretty strong to keep this closed. I just think that this is a fantastic palette. I would definitely recommend it 100%. I think if you're looking for a new, you know, mostly warm tone palette, but that has other cool tone options in it, this is a great one. I've been really enjoying using this. I've been using it quite a bit. When she comes out with more things in the future, I'm definitely gonna be interested. The Lemonade palette was just not quite what I wanted. It's beautiful, and so if you like those tones, I'm sure if the quality is like this, it's fantastic. And I would imagine that it's the same, because why would she change a good thing? Well, plenty of companies do, but hopefully she didn't. And so, you know, in the future when she comes out with other palettes, if it's what I'm looking for, then I would definitely go for it, especially if they come to Ulta, because I think that's a great perk. You know, you can certainly purchase from her website. And it's not that that made me not buy it originally, but it made it a lot easier when it came to Ulta. And I just didn't really think about getting it originally, because part of it was that I felt like I had a lot of these shades and I didn't need it. But then I was hearing more about it, and again, when I saw it in person, that changed it for me, and I just really wanted it. So I think that that's all that I have to say about this. Obviously, I love it. I think it really is a great palette. You know, of course, it's not perfect. It has its pros and cons like any other palette, but I think the pros majorly outweigh those cons. And I think if you've been thinking about it, I would definitely say go for it. You know, maybe save up your Ulta points or wait until there's a 20% off coupon. I think that's a good way to go. I definitely don't regret getting this one. I think it is a fabulous palette, and I can't wait to see what else she comes out with in the future. Let me know in the comments below if there is another product that is coming out or has come out that you'd like me to review. It doesn't have to be a new product. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.